My unskilled high school dropout. You're just a burden. Stay home and babysit. Tom, the elite salesman who boasts only about his sales records, said while waving his train ticket. Tom constantly flaunted his education to belittle me. Hey Tom, wait up. Facing away, Tom responded. Since I'm more capable, just wait in a daze. Tom briskly headed towards the train platform. Can I buy a ticket now and make it on time? No, it's impossible. Desperate, I rushed to the ticket counter, but it was fully booked. The next available train was 2 departures later. At this rate, the business deal would be ruined. As expected, the client's manager, bored by a poor presentation, said, If he's not handling this, we're cancelling the deal. We managed to get through, but Tom's snide remarks continued. However, after I returned from sick leave, I discovered a major problem at work, exposing Tom's mistakes. My name is Chris Wilson. I'm a 41-year-old working for a food manufacturer in New York. Because my family was poor, I have worked diligently to support them since graduating from middle school. Thanks to my efforts, I am now a section chief with a lovely wife and 2 daughters. Chris. Yes, what is it? My manager speaks to me while I'm doing desk work. The Family Market is going to hold a fair soon. A fair? Family Market is the largest convenience store chain with over 20,000 stores nationwide. If they decide to carry our products, it would involve an estimated $130 million. For Yamashita Foods, where I work, Family Market is one of our major clients, and this is a significant opportunity. Yes, they contacted us saying they want to sell our products there. Could you please handle the negotiations? Usually, such negotiations are handled by someone at the manager level or above. This is a huge promotion. However, a wave of anxiety hits me, wondering if I'm really up to the task. Can I really do this? I expressed my honest opinion. Could someone like me, a high school dropout with no special skills, handle this? But despite my feelings, my manager smiled and patted me on the shoulder, saying, Don't worry, I've got faith in you. I could choose not to go. But wouldn't that be betraying my manager's trust? Besides, this is a perfect opportunity to change my usual lack of confidence. We're counting on your daily efforts. What do you say? While I was hesitating, Tom, who had been listening nearby, spoke up. Manager, if Chris isn't going, let me handle it. Tom, I'll give a better presentation than Chris. After all, I'm a college graduate, right, Chris? Tom is my junior. He graduated from college, whereas I only finished middle school. We are the same age, but I have more experience at the company. To be honest, I don't want Tom to go alone for the negotiation. No, I'll go. Please let me handle it. I want to build my confidence. I don't want Tom to go for the negotiation. These 2 reasons pushed me forward. The manager seemed to agree with me. He smiled broadly and said, All right, I'm counting on you. Tom clicked his tongue and sat down roughly at his desk. Tom's work attitude isn't great. He often skips tasks, takes long breaks, and slacks off. Despite this, Tom often marks me. You're just a high school dropout. Even at 40, education was a major value for Tom. Whenever he found someone with lower education, he bragged about his prestigious New York University and high test scores. Each time, I warned him. It's fine if you treat me that way, but don't act like that with other employees. Tom never listened, always clicking his tongue and heading to the smoking area. Yet, he was very concerned about his evaluation and eagerly wanted to handle big negotiations. That was one reason he was always among the top sales performers, which made him cocky. Wanting to take the initiative isn't a bad thing. However, he avoided small deals that wouldn't impact his performance and used his position to offload tasks onto junior staff. The whole department was troubled by Tom, but because of his good results, no one could say anything. On the day of the $130 million negotiation, Tom and I went together. Originally, I was supposed to go alone, but Tom insisted, so we settled on him at least attending. Our negotiation partner was Susan, known as a top executive at Family Market. It's her first fair, but she has favored us for a while and is known for her gentle nature. It should be fine. If Tom does anything weird, I'll step in and stop him. Let's go then. We met in front of the ticket gate, and Tom went through. Since Tom was supposed to handle the tickets, I said, "Tom, can I get my ticket?" Tom smirked. "There is no ticket for you." "No ticket for me. I'll handle today's negotiation. I can't trust a high school dropout." He had intentionally not gotten a ticket for me and only prepared one for himself. "I'm your junior, so I'll get the tickets," he had said. I feel ashamed for expecting that Tom had matured. I should have monitored him more carefully. I am also angry at myself for my careless actions. "Hey, do you think you can get away with this?" I said. He waved the ticket. "It's not about whether you forgive me or not. It's about whether you can handle the negotiation. An unskilled high school dropout like you is just a burden. Stay home and babysit." He laughed. "Hey Tom, wait." Tom laughed triumphantly, turned his back, and said, "Since I'm more capable, just wait in a daze." Tom briskly headed towards the train platform. "Can I buy a ticket now and make it on time?" "No, it's impossible." Desperate, I rushed to the ticket counter, but it was fully booked. The next available train was 2 departures later. I could have used an unreserved seat, but I needed to sit and complete the materials that had to be sent before the meeting. It seems I'll have to rely on Tom to hold the fort. I contacted Tom. "I'll be late. Please hold the meeting until I get there." Tom only responded with a playful sticker. I had no choice but to buy the ticket for the later train. Pass through the gate, finish the materials on a bench at the platform, and send them. Tom arrived at the Family Market headquarters by train. Using the receptionist's phone, Tom greeted Susan Williams, with whom he had a scheduled meeting today. "Nice to meet you. I'm Tom from Yamashita Foods," Tom said, pretending nothing was wrong with a poorly made smile. "Oh, I was told Chris would be coming," Susan responded. Susan, who gained the authority to decide on products for Family Market at a young age, is a promising employee known for her data analysis skills, intuition, and good taste. Chris couldn't make it due to some circumstances, so I'm here in his place. "I see," she replied, placing her hand on her chin and closing her eyes as if pondering. Then she said, "If he's not handling this, we're canceling the deal." "What?" At these shocking words in front of Family Market's reception, Tom was left speechless. "What do you mean?" "Since our fare was decided, I've been working with Chris. We're very close to finalizing the product selection. If a third person gets involved now and complicates things, we won't meet the deadline." Sweat began to bead on Tom's forehead. If he backed down now, it would mean nothing to have outmaneuvered me. "Could you please hear me out for a moment?" She frowned suspiciously. "Excuse me, but you work at the same company, right? Haven't you coordinated with each other?" The pointed question sent a chill down Tom's spine, but he continued making excuses. "The thing is, my product proposal was also considered good, and we decided to present both options." I apologize for the sudden change. She still looked at him with a puzzled expression, but sighed and said, "Don't make me repeat myself. Today's deal is cancelled," and started walking away. Tom called out to her back, "Wait a moment. Why are you so particular about Chris? I can present an even better proposal." She stopped, turned around and said, "Fine. I don't know where your confidence comes from, but I'll listen to what you have to say, this way," and led Tom into a room. In the white room, there were 2 chairs and a table facing each other. Satisfied to have reached the negotiation stage, Tom felt elated. Entering the room, They exchanged business cards and took their seats. Tom sat down roughly before Susan, sighing loudly. "Shall we begin?" "Yes, thank you." As Tom confidently reached for his bag's zipper to take out the materials, Susan added a reminder. "This fair is very important to our company. I apologize if I sound repetitive, but if there are any flaws in your proposal, please leave immediately." Her eyes, though gentle, held a firm belief in product development. Cold sweat appeared on Tom's face. "I understand." "Do you really understand? The products from this fair will be sold in convenience stores nationwide. And I'm aiming to revolutionize the convenience store industry." She clearly didn't like Tom's attitude. She was obviously different from her usual gentle and approachable self. "So, what kind of proposal do you have?" "Here it is." Tom took a document out of his bag. The content was about a product called Sea Urchin and Salmon Roe Gout Bowl. The key point of this product is its impact. Since this fair focuses on Alaska, we are using local specialties and paying attention to quality. Tom continued to speak, boasting as if it was an excellent proposal. Susan wasn't smiling. "You mentioned revolutionizing the convenience store industry. This will certainly be a product like no other. By the way, this product is priced at $20, which is unprecedented." "What else do you have?" she interrupted. "What else?" Tom's face twisted with a mix of anger and confusion. "Anyone can list local specialties, but your materials don't explain why this product is needed or why it costs this much." "Well, that will come." "What are your thoughts on the cost price? Who is your target audience? What about the quantities? First and foremost, how can I evaluate without the product?" "No, that's for later." Feeling pressured, Tom clearly lost his earlier confidence. "This is taking too long. I specifically asked Chris to bring the product concept and the product itself. I doubt he would forget something so important. That is, he couldn't possibly admit that he left me behind to steal the credit. If he had known it would come to this, he would have secured my materials and products." "Please leave." I arrived at that moment. "Thank you for your patience. I apologize for being late today." Susan smiled warmly when she saw my face. "Oh, Chris, thank you for always taking care of us. I heard you wouldn't be coming today, so you made it." "Yes, I'm truly sorry for the delay." "No problem. Was it an urgent task?" "Well, there were various issues." I glared at Tom, who was lounging in his chair. Tom glared back and clicked his tongue. "Shall we proceed with the explanation of the concept and the product review?" "Yes, of course." I laid out the materials on the table and explained each one carefully. I explained why this product is necessary for family market now, comparing the market and family market sales floor. I made sure to integrate the product's key points, particularly its deliciousness and the unique processes of Yamashita foods, explaining them fundamentally. Susan nodded along as she listened. "Chris, this lacks impact." Tom interrupted during the discussion. But I was focused on the negotiation and didn't let it slide this time. I firmly told Tom what I thought. "Tom, impact alone won't sell the product. Your intuition is good sometimes, but often it leads to poor outcomes. You need to think logically about why things should be done a certain way." Tom had no choice but to stay silent, sulking as he fiddled with a hangnail. "Sorry for the interruption. Regarding the desired selling price. Initially, it was $6, but by improving processes and reducing staff, we can now produce it for $5. This has been verified at the factory. Offering this taste and volume for $5 is fantastic. It fits well with the family market's customer base." "Thank you. Then let's go with this." We had exchanged materials and sampled products repeatedly, so one face-to-face explanation was enough to finalize the product. The product was later sold nationwide and became a huge hit on social media. After I scolded Tom, He spent the rest of the meeting looking frustrated while staring at the materials. It was his own doing. I'm glad the negotiation went well. Later on. Hey, Tom is #1 in sales again. That guy has a bad attitude, but his performance is always good. But actually, Tom had clearly become conceited. Since that incident, Tom has consistently delivered stable results. Tom, you've been working hard lately. I suspected something was up, but since his performance was good, I genuinely complimented him. Are you jealous? It's only natural since I'm a college grad and you're a high school dropout. Leave everything to me. He said this with a smug look. Well, as long as it's beneficial for the company, I'll overlook a bit of a bad attitude. I decided to let him be. A few days later, I caught an epidemic disease and had to take a week off from work. Suffering from a severe sore throat and high fever, I spent my days lying in bed, unable to think much about work. The only thing on my mind was Tom. I wondered if his arrogant attitude was causing trouble for the other employees. I worried about whether he had made any mistakes with our clients. As his supervisor, it was a natural concern. I also had worries about my family. My eldest daughter is starting high school next year. We don't spend wastefully, but if I don't earn enough, I can't give her a comfortable life. I wasn't fully recovered, but after resting during the isolation period, I pushed myself to go back to work. My concerns were spot on. It started yesterday afternoon with a call from the cost management department. Is this estimate really accurate? Tom received the call and, in his usual manner, said, I can't be wrong, it's fine, and dismissed it. But it clearly seemed off, and the issue reached the sales manager's ears this morning. Chris, how are you feeling? I'm not fully recovered, but I'm well enough to come to work. That's good. Sorry to put you to work right after your illness, but could you check the estimate Tom was handling? He looked at Tom's empty desk, as he was on a smoke break. We've been lenient because he's a chief and has good results. But this morning, we received a notice from the cost management department saying it was wrong. And his estimate didn't even circulate to me. In our company, the product development department sets the product and price. And then the sales department proposes the product to the client along with the concept. Since price changes often occur, the final estimate is issued by the sales department. Estimates must circulate from the senior manager to the section chief, the manager, and finally the director. It's strange that the director didn't check it. I decided to review the costs from scratch. As I started working, I found mistakes one after another. The raw material prices were from years ago, and the automatic calculation formulas were a mess, taking me a whole day to recalculate everything. I knew it, I thought. In the evening, I reported to the director. I'm sorry. Chris, I knew it. Yes, it was indeed wrong. I apologized repeatedly. Even though it happened while I was out sick, it was still my subordinate's failure. I'm sorry for my subordinate. This happened while I was out. The director let out a heavy sigh. He placed his hand on my slumped shoulder and said, You have it tough too. Then the director's face turned fierce, and he called out sternly to Tom, who was seated 3 desks away. Tom, come here for a moment. I had never seen the usually gentle director this angry. Tom had just returned from his smoke break, likely in high spirits. What is it, director? Do you need my help again? The director pulled out the chair next to him and, in a calm but angry voice, said, Just sit down. The anger in his calmness made me shiver. Then he slammed the recalculated estimate I had prepared onto the table. What is this? This is the estimate I made for the product. It's going on sale next week. Isn't it exciting? Tom looked up at me standing next to him and said, Chris, you should be able to handle this. You're my senior after all, but I guess it's hard since you're just a high school dropout. It was at that moment. Bang! The director slammed the desk hard. The office fell silent. Shut up. His voice was heavy and low. It was authoritative. "Director, why are you so angry?" Tom asked, laughing nervously. The director pointed to the gross profit margin on the estimate. Tom looked at it. His eyes widened, and he blurted out the number. -26%. I had expected this. "Explain what this means," the director demanded. Tom couldn't hide his agitation. "This is a mistake. When I checked it, it wasn't like this. This is a lie. This morning, we received a notice from the cost management department. I had Chris recalculate it. And look at this part too." He pointed again, this time to the gross profit margin for the client. It showed 30%. It should have been 35%. "We can deal with our profit internally, but we can't adjust the client's profit. If we make it 35%, our gross profit margin will drop even further." Tom glared at me, then looked at the director. "Isn't it just Chris's mistake, director? My performance is better than his, so why?" The director sighed deeply, lamenting how disgraceful his subordinate had become. "Do you know why you're the top salesperson?" He spoke in a different tone, trying to teach. "That's because I'm good at my job. I have better negotiation skills and charisma than anyone." The director closed his eyes quietly and shook his head. "What is needed in sales is honesty to build trust with clients, and the patience not to be swayed by the moment. Negotiation skills and charisma aren't necessary. Chris has that. Even if that's true, this mistake isn't mine, it's someone else's fault." Tom scowled in frustration. "Tom, before blaming others, did you do everything you could? Did you have anyone check this estimate?" "Yes, of course." "Then can you explain why such a mistake happened?" "Because someone else must have." The director scratched his head and sighed. "Enough. The reason you're the top salesperson is that you propose products with unrealistic price settings." "Unrealistic prices? That's not true. This time the gross profit is terrible, but usually I do it right." Tom seemed to regain his confidence, remembering his top sales performance. He probably thought he always did it right. How foolish. The director looked up at me and asked, "Can I tell the truth?" I was also at my limit, so there was no reason to stop him. "Yes." After taking a deep breath, the director spoke. "Do you know who has been cleaning up your sloppy calculations?" "Sloppy? That's a terrible thing to say. There's no way anyone would be doing that." "It's all been Chris." "What?" Tom looked up at me in panic. I must have looked furious, because Tom quickly looked away, scared. "He recalculates everything and figures out how to recover the gross profit you lost in your estimates. He endures harsh words from factory employees and remains patient and sincere. That's what makes him capable." "That's a lie, right?" The director said nothing. I decided to drive the point home to the shaken Tom. "Originally, I didn't intend to tell you that I've been correcting your estimates every time. But your recent behavior has been intolerable. You, a high school dropout." The director cut him off. "Since I'm being honest, complaints have also been coming in from the product development department. They say your instructions are unclear. They don't want to work with you, and you have an arrogant attitude. And there are many such complaints. That's because of the guys in the development department. Because of this directive." I displayed the email Tom had sent to the product development department on the computer screen. "Meeting details. We need a product unlike anything we've had before. Budget, $4 to $8. Please make improvements." That was all the email said. Just telling them you need a product unlike any other doesn't give them anything to work with. You need to provide specific directions. The price range is too broad. It's your job to gather detailed information and convey it to the development department. You need to explain what was wrong and what was good about the product you proposed." Tom remained silent. The cause of this mistake is obviously due to a lack of explanation and confirmation. I did explain. But this mistake was out of the ordinary. If someone else had checked, it could have been prevented. The director also said he hadn't been able to review it. Did you not circulate it? Tom looked around nervously. Clearly hit where it hurt. No way. At that moment, an employee interrupted. Excuse me. Sorry, can it wait? It's about the estimate circulation. Seeing the employee's hesitation, I realized I should hear him out and encouraged him to continue. Go on, tell us. Actually, I saw Tom taking the director's pen from his drawer and sign himself. For a moment, time stood still. The director, Tom, and I were all speechless. Tom was the first to speak. What are you talking about, director? Please believe me, I never did such a thing. The director said nothing, just glared at Tom. I really didn't do it. Please believe me. Then another nearby employee said, Actually, I saw it too. This sparked whispers throughout the department, with more people saying I did too. There was no more room for excuses. Tom held his head in his hands, slumping. Tom, I began. Shut up, high school dropout. Tom shouted, acting like a child. I felt a deep sense of pity. Since we're on the subject, let me show you this, I said, displaying another email on the computer. It was an email from Susan at Family Market. Regarding Tom, after our recent meeting with Family Market, Susan had taken us out for dinner. Afterward, Tom claimed he was heading back to the hotel, but apparently he was seen wandering the nightlife district. An employee from Family Market recognized him due to his conspicuous behavior. You said you were going back to the hotel. What is this about? Who cares? It's not like I did anything wrong. You did do something wrong. I pulled out Chris's expense report. Tom had claimed the costs of his night out as business entertainment expenses. The amount was around $1,000. If this had been done repeatedly, it would add up to a significant sum. What you did is embezzlement. Tom, trembling, tried to make excuses. After that, I happened to run into Susan. Do you really think someone who sent this email would do that? Tom was too flustered to think straight, muttering to himself. And there's more. Your attitude towards female employees. I've received numerous complaints about you from them. They say you use your sales record as a shield to do whatever you please. Even Susan said she found your behavior during the dinner intolerable. No way. And there's still more. Your attitude towards your subordinates. Do you think being a top sales performer gives you the right to do anything? Do you think being number one means anything? Let me tell you something. Behind your back, you're called the Emperor's New Clothes. You might be number one in sales, but you lack awareness, capability, and respect from others. No. Tom let out a sound that could barely be called a voice. Considering what you've done to other employees, this isn't nearly enough, and there's more. The director gently patted my back and said, Let's leave it at that. I'm sorry, just one more thing. I took a deep breath and steadied myself. Listen, performance doesn't matter, and neither does your education. It's about whether you're doing what needs to be done. How does it feel, Tom, to have a college graduate relying on a high school dropout like me? The director then told him, Tom, you don't need to do anything else. The room buzzed with whispers about Tom's downfall. As a result, our company faced a loss of about $2 million. Chris, we need to apologize to the client. Can you join me? You're the only one I can trust. Before that, let's review the process and materials to see if we can produce something of the same quality. Yes, I understand. We reviewed the materials and processes, and after confirming the quality, we resolved the issue. But it was a close call. No amount of apologizing would be enough. Tom received the punishment he deserved for his behavior. He was subsequently demoted from senior manager to regular employee. His days are now filled with strict supervision and guidance from his superiors, as he's considered prone to mistakes. As expected, Tom frequently made errors, and his sales performance plummeted to second from the bottom. With his confidence and money gone, he fought with his wife and ended up getting divorced. His gaunt cheeks and dark circles under his eyes showed his exhaustion. But it seemed like he got what he deserved, and I felt no sympathy. As for me, my swift response to the crisis earned me high praise. The Fair product with Family Market was a huge hit, leading to frequent collaborations. Thanks to this, I became the top salesperson and was promoted to manager. Susan told me she relies on me, and my life became more comfortable. My daughter successfully entered high school and wants to join the brass band. Though instruments are expensive, it's not a problem. My younger daughter is playing basketball in middle school and recently placed second in the national tournament. My marriage is harmonious, and my days are smooth sailing. Supported by my family, I am truly happy. I tightly tied my shoelaces, adjusted my tie, picked up my bag, and stood up. All right, let's work hard today. I pushed the front door open with determination. My light steps will carry me far.